Are we live? Come on, YouTube, show me that we're live. The old 30-second delay. Well, here a dog just woke up. Are we live? Go on, testing. Are we live? Go on, testing. All right, we are. All right. Okay, we are live. Hello, strangers. Okay. Oh, folks. So I wanted to do a live stream here. And, oh, there's the dog. And he knows that I'm going to talk, so it's treat time. There. The old gray dog. Hey, look at him. Look at the gray on his face, eh? Getting old. Yeah. Dougie's got to go for surgery. I got to book an appointment next week. He's got another lump on the back of his leg. We don't know what it is yet, if it's nothing or if it's something. Okay, so we can't go this week because this week is a bad week for Matt. Matt's not having a good week here. We're gonna ration these, Doug. We only got 2 bags left of these, and they're no longer available. There'll be no more kangaroo. And thank you for the slobber. Look at his face, eh? Look how gray he's getting. Oh, Dougie. And he's losing weight. He's a lot thinner than... Actually, he's in really good shape. You know, he honestly is. He's like, I wish I was as good a shape as he's right now. All right, folks. So the sound might not be the best because I can't raise my voice too much because my lungs are hurting really bad. So, no, he's not chasing any coyotes. He's too old for that now. We had a coyote here this morning. I almost had a chance to shoot a coyote, but I didn't. I just couldn't. I gave up. So I want to give you an update here. 4.5 weeks ago, was it what? I'll tell you the exact date. Actually, I'll tell you the exact date because. All right, so there, August the 23rd. August the 23rd, I came down with a gluten attack, and what had happened was I'd gone to town. And I'd be exposed to a whole bunch of gluten spreaders with the variant of gluten, okay, that we're experiencing right now in society. And because I was getting ready for the slaughter of the chickens, and I had stopped at my neighbor's house, and my neighbor's wife had gotten the double gluten jab, and I was there for lunch, and I came home 3 days later. I was like really sick, like fever. I was laying in bed shivering. It was like I was really sick for 60 hours, 24 really bad, and then 60, and then I got better. So around the 48-hour to 60-hour mark, and then by 72 it was over. It was gone. It was just like it came and went that fast. So then 4.5 weeks go by, and last week I had a big week. I had to go get straw, and I had to go around, do a bunch of running around in town, and I was exposed to a lot of people last week because I was in town Tuesday, Wednesday. Then I went to the farm, and then Saturday I woke up And I was like, it was, I guess about 10:30 Saturday morning. I felt a little drip down the back of my throat, and it, it I felt the drip, and I knew right away. I thought, okay, first I thought it was allergies because the weather had changed here, and I thought maybe some, plants blooming, something's going on. So I did an allergy pill, and it didn't help, none at all. My sinuses were getting plugged, and it was like I was getting worse and worse. And then I woke up. What was it? So that was Friday, Saturday. Yeah, it was all day Saturday. Friday, I woke up with the drip on the back of my throat, and it got worse all day. Woke up Saturday morning, and I was like, "Whoa, man!" Just my head, like a massive head cold, and it was. I could feel my throat getting sore, and then by Saturday night, it was started to get sore on the top of my chest. The gluten was really taking a hold on me here, and then I started coughing, and it started hurting to cough. And then yesterday, I I couldn't lay down. I had to sit up all day. Like everything I did, I had to do sitting up. I couldn't lay down. Every time I lay down, I start coughing. But last night, I went to bed, and it started feeling. It started. The cough was there, but my sinuses were not as plugged. That was going away, and my throat wasn't sore anymore, but my lungs are sore. So I did all night, slept 6 hours. I did some cough medicine so I wouldn't cough, and I woke up at 3, started coughing again, and then I did more cough medicine at 4:30. Woke up at 8:30, and my sinuses like a little bit plugged. Like you can hear my voice, like a little. My sinuses are a little bit plugged, but I'm not in the pain. Like yesterday, it was like felt like I was punched, or Saturday, felt like I was punched here. My head was just red hot across here for my sinuses. But today, it's completely in my lungs. Like when I cough, it feels like I'm bruised right across here, and it feels like I got a chest. I got hit with a 2x4 across my chest. So, no, I won't get any gluten test. No testing happening here. Last place I'm going is anywhere near a hospital. I can do this on my own. Oh, I have an immune system. It can fight gluten. So now I've officially had it 3 times. And the last 2 times, the first time was 28 days, I was sick. But this time, it seems somewhere around the 60 to 72 hour mark, my body breaks it, you know? But it is rough. The first 60 hours, I'm not gonna lie, it's rough, like really sick. Well, I spent Saturday, yeah, today's Monday. Saturday, I stayed the whole day in bed. You know, like I slept the whole day. I went to bed, like I was gonna lay on the couch, and I just said, I just went to bed. When I would lock the doors of the house and convince Doug to come upstairs and sleep with me, and I slept on the all day in bed. Oh, oh, but the thing is, the current gluten shots, is just Charles is bringing up here, is these gluten shots they want us to do, and they say that it'll make our symptoms less. It's amazing. My immune system is mimicking this gluten shot, because like the first time I had gluten, it was 28 days I was sick. Like I was sick for a good stretch of time there last February, and but now it seems my immune system is doing what they say the gluten shot will do. You know what I mean? Like it's amazing, eh? But your immune system doesn't work according to them. But mine seems to be working, because I really, like, I do have at this time, folks, my lungs, oh boys. Like if I cough during this live stream, you're going to see like real pain. And like I can't raise my voice. And when I was sleeping, thankfully my sinuses cleared up, because last night I had to consciously breathe through my nose, because when I breathe through my mouth, there was too much airflow and it was hurting my lungs. So yeah, we can't get the mectin. Mectin's not allowed. You know. No, you're right, Sheena. If my immune system is up to par, you know. But but it's strange because like I'm isolated here, folks. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm just waiting to get out of here, okay? And like I'm not participating in society at all. I'm going a little bit crazy because I'm living in total isolation here in the bush, and it's like my only hope is that someone buys the place and I get the hell out of here. And that's not looking like it's happening this year. And for some weird reason, I think the universe is keeping me here for what's going on. But, you know, the every time I go to town, it seems, in the last month, well, I've only gone to town twice in the last month. And both times I go to town, I come back, I get sick. And I know for a fact that there are gluten jab people everywhere. They're everywhere. You know, they're, you know, like they're everywhere. Well, put it this way, anyone driving around in their car with a face diaper on, good chance they got the jab. You know what I mean? So, but like I'm loaded up with vitamin D because this summer I have gone crazy with the vitamin D. This is the best tan I've ever had in a lot of years. Put it that way. Like well, I'm starting to lose it here, but like look at that, okay? Like my whole body's that, like everything, everywhere, on that color. Like I have like I worked in the garden. Like everything I did outside this year, the only thing I wore was shorts, most of the time underwear, and my Crocs. That's how I lived in my backyard this year because we had a crazy hot summer, and anytime I worked outside, I was outside, you know, getting full body tan. And then lots of times I would take, do hour and a half breaks in the middle of the day and just get a blast of rays and cooked myself, So my vitamin D levels are through the roof, you know. Anyways, but I can't get out of here right now. And there's something going on with the visa. Uh, there's a big stall on issuing visas, and I don't. And I like I think that I'm stuck here. I think I'm stuck here for the winter until this whatever happens blows over and the dots get connected in society, you know, and people wake up that this whole thing. I don't think it's going to be good either, folks, because the things I'm, that I'm the gluten jab is the variant. So actually, talking about that, Mallard, about wearing a face diaper, I had to clean. I had to clean the barn of the chicken poop. Okay, because I had chickens this year, and it was really dusty this year because we had no water. And it was really, really. We had a drought this summer. Drought's over now. We're back to normal. But the barn was super dusty, and I took one shovelful, and the dust came up off the ground, and it was just wicked ammonia dust, from the chicken poop. And I went and got the full face respirator, and I had the full deal on filters, the whole bit, covering up, and I did the whole barn that way because like it was crazy, the dust. And I was thinking to myself, this is the true way you can protect yourself from gluten, because like chicken dust, ammonia dust in the barn is much bigger than the gluten virus. You know what I mean? And that's why I laugh at this. Like they're thinking, like I wouldn't even think of wearing a paper mask, clean the barn out what I did. Like there's no way I wouldn't even no way, because it's like I knew I needed really protection, to do this job. And I'm glad I did, because when I finished, I looked at the respirator and it was like completely coated in dust. And I was thinking all that dust would have been in my eyes, my lungs, like, So these people walking around with these little paper masks on, I'm just shaking my head. You think that's protecting you? It's like, we're so in trouble, folks. Well, but it's just every time I go to town, I get sick. You know. Yeah, isn't it amazing, eh? We had that Polygon event, and they planned all those cyber attacks. That's sort of like that Event 201 deal they did in October 2019. And then now we have these ransomware attacks everywhere. You know, you know. Actually, you're wrong, MJ, about why Asians wear masks. It's actually not the reason. You're watching too much TV. Oh, they wear them when they're sick. Because the Asians and Japanese, they're very conscious of when you're sick, cover your face. It's a misconception about that one. So far this year, my garden's done really well. I had over. I did videos. I've been doing a video logs, not much videos this year because I've gotten, darling, I have gotten. I'm not kidding you, folks. Like, when I first started doing my garden videos, I had like 50 videos in a year, and the like, because I was doing so much work, this year was the absolute least work I've ever done in my garden. Like, absolutely nothing. Because I always try, every time I do something with my garden, I always try to get the camera out. Because a lot of it, I want it for my own personal record. Because I do forget things, and I go back to my videos and get a quick refresher on what happened. And this year, I did nothing. So, like nothing. Like, it was like nothing. It's unbelievable. And like, I think on my garden videos, I only so far have shot 4 videos because I did nothing. You know, but my garden, I got, what was it? My yellow beans didn't do well at all because but the heat, the yellow beans just failed bad. I only got like 30 pounds of yellow beans. They didn't like the heat at all. They end up dying actually near the end of the summer, and I had to pick them really fast because the plants were dying from the heat wave in August there. It was about the 60-day mark, 55-day mark. And normally I let my beans go 75 and then pull the whole plant. But my green beans, out of 3 rows, I got over 115 pounds of green beans. And my beets, out of 2 rows of beets, I got about, well, my first thinning of my beets, I got about 30 pounds of beet tops on the first thinning of my beets. And then when I did the final harvest of my beets, I got over 80 pounds of beets, or beetroot. And then my carrots, I got 95 pounds of carrots out of 3 rows. You know, it was good. So right now I'm waiting for my rutabaga, which aren't doing too well because the rutabaga's got some black rot happen. Actually, Rebecca, it's not a lot of food because it works out. Doug and I need 1.5 pounds a day for Doug and I, because Doug eats what I eat now. I don't buy dog food. I haven't bought dog food in over a year. I think that's why Doug's lost so much weight, is no dog food. He gets raw chicken and cooked vegetables is what he gets. But I need 1.5 pounds of veggies per day. So basically, if I want to last a year, I need about 550 pounds, 520 pounds of meat. I mean veggies. But like I said, I've got the rutabaga yet to do, and my parsnips are, of course, my parsnips are going crazy, and my spaghetti squash are nuts. Like, they're really nuts, actually. The spaghetti squash probably got about 70, 80 spaghetti squash. So, you know. Yeah, Doug. It's D-U-G actually. He's a dog. Doug is the dog. Oh, yeah, Rebecca. Actually, uh, Doug's lost a lot of weight, like a lot. Plus a lot of muscle. Like he's losing his muscle because he's getting older. I've noticed going up the stairs, he's slower with it because he can't push as hard with his back legs, and also getting up on the bed. You know, like he looks good when he's walking around, but he's he's getting old. He's got a nice thin waist. He's in good shape for an old dog, put it that way. And you're right, the less weight, does help his shoulder. You know, does help actually. But he does bursts. Like right now, we got a coyote appeared and he got a little bit excited and he runs in the bush and he goes a little bit crazy and he comes back limping and he in his brain he still thinks he can do his deal and work, but physically he can't. Like we had a fox problem this spring or this summer with the chickens, and he got a little bit crazy fox hunting for about 5 days, and I had to pump a lot of meds into him, and I had to keep the chickens locked up for like 10 days, so that the fox wouldn't come around, so Doug would stop running because it was hurting Doug too much. Like really, honestly, if I was staying here, I would get a puppy because Doug is right now, like really, he should have been training a dog this summer, but I'm not staying, so I'm leaving. So, but really, Doug should have been training a dog and teaching him everything that he knows and things like, don't needlessly run after stuff because Doug's finally figured out that it's futile to chase crows. It's like, only took him 8 years, to figure that out. But he's being pretty good, like right now. But he thinks he's going to get more treats, eh? Here, let me show you. He's sticking close because he thinks maybe he'll get some treats, right? But he's looking good. No rolls of fat. His fur's in good shape. But I'm telling you, changing his diet really helped. Really helped, actually. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Inga, about your kitty cat. It sucks when you lose a pet. It does. Losing a pet's got to be one of the worst things. Especially when you're a pet owner with no children, human children, It's like your animals are your extension, you know. Yeah, Rebecca, older dogs, they're the best. I love the separation anxiety. That's what I love the most of how they have to be with you. Like an example was it yesterday or Saturday? I can't remember. It's a blur this weekend because I was sick with that gluten attack. But it was funny because he didn't want to go outside. He wanted to stay inside with me because it must have been Saturday when I was laying on the couch or on the bed. I mean, like, oh, maybe it was Sunday. I can't remember. But he didn't want to go outside, and I actually had to put his dog food outside to get like what I was feeding him because he had a treat this week, and I cooked up chicken livers and hearts, and that he loves that. That's his favorite of the chicken is when I roast those up for him. And I actually had to put the dog food outside to get him to go outside, and he ate and turned around and scratched at the door right away. Didn't even want to go to the bathroom. He just wanted to come back in and be with me. It was funny. Older dogs, they just got to stick with you, follow you around, They ignore you with all their, and then when they get older, they stick to you, I got a question I missed from So Funny. I live on a farm. No, it's not a big farm. It's just a small farm, 15 acres. And I'm trying to move to Venezuela is what I'm trying to do. Oh. Venezuela has not done a lockdown for the gluten. They do this silly thing bi-weekly quarantine, 1 week, quarantine week and 1 week flexible where they're open, but nobody pays attention to the quarantine week. All the businesses, everything's open, and the government doesn't enforce anything. Like, it's funny because they send me, I get so much information from them, and it's like they're at the store, they're at restaurants eating, and the police are in there eating on quarantine week. Like, the police are frequenting the businesses they're supposed to be patrolling, and it's unbelievable the difference, because they're a country that is broke, collapsed. The government doesn't have the debt resources like Western society does. They can't finance the totalitarian crackdown. Like, there's something to be said about, it is like about a broke government. That anarchy is actually freedom. Actually, Venezuela, there's a website that, well, first of all, Venezuela, I know for a fact that the Guri Dam, the government is mining Bitcoin. I know that for an absolute fact, because I have a contact within the government, and they're mining Bitcoin at the Guri Dam, which is the biggest dam, I think, in South America. And I've heard that they're looking at what El Salvador and Cuba is doing concerning Bitcoin. So I know they're going through a currency revaluation this month, actually October. They're chopping off 5 or 6 zeros. I think 6 zeros. They're chopping off the currency. So who knows what's going to happen if they're going to announce something with Bitcoin. But I know their government is mining Bitcoin. Absolutely, for sure. So. And I do on the channel, actually, MJ's talking about how, they say Venezuela is horrible. It is a country, I'm not going to lie, it's a country in collapse. It absolutely is. But I don't know what it is, but that can be appealing to some people. Anarchy, I'm not big into structure. Like, I really hate the amount of structure we have here. I hate it. I hate the control the government gets from structure. I'm a bit of an anarchist. I'm a lot of an anarchist, actually. I'm a free man, and it's like they're so much more free than we are, Well, put it this way. I've been sharing what's going on here in Canada. Okay, I've been sharing with my friends down there, and all the rules and the craziness and the vaccine passports and all this stuff. They can't believe it. Like, these people are poor down there, and their country's not in the best shape, and they're looking at, they're lucky and we're not. Put it that way. Because at least they're free. It might be not the best situation, but they're free. We're not free up here. We're not. We're not even close, and it's going to get worse until it gets better. But I wanted to give you an update of what I've gone through, because I did a Twitter update when I last bout, but your immune system does work against the gluten. It does. Well, at least mine has so far. It has. Yeah, Gumby got reelected. I know. Yeah, I know, eh? NyQuil. Yeah. Well, I did the same thing, Mallard. Like, I got the gluten this weekend, and I just, sat at home, and I was surprised actually when I opened up my medicine cabinet. I had forgotten that the last time I had gluten there back last February, when I got better in April, I bought a whole bunch of gluten medicines, cough syrups and decongestants, and my medicine cabinet had a ton of expired drugs in it. They still work, even though they're expired. You know, I did the Benylin DM night decongestant and chest. I didn't do NyQuil. Yeah, I still have ducks here. I have 9 females and 1 male, and I have 9 geese that are still outside. Well, they're in the pen. So, yeah, this is mallard. What's going? Like I said, this fall, folks, a lot of dots get connected. I watched a bunch of doctors yesterday about the gluten. Learned something about T. Okay, Google that one, folks. TRN1. Tom, Robert, Norman 1. Okay? It's pretty scary. That TRN1 gets suppressed because of the gluten jab. And when you read what the TRN1 does in our bodies, absolutely you do not want to suppress that. I can't talk about it because the the algorithms trigger. You don't even know anymore what you're allowed to say anymore. Everything's so freaking crazy right now. But TRN1, I'm gonna type it in just so you, in case you're not understanding. So it's TRN1, and it is a very crucial to our bodies. So very crucial. You know, and it gets suppressed with the jab. Not going to be good. Yes, Kill King, you're so right. Everything. Like you look around the world, the censorship. Look at here in Canada, they're trying to censor it. You know, the Bill C-10 and Bill C-36, like censorship in Canada for freedom of speech. Like, look at Germany. I just read that Germany is they want to crack down on Telegram. That they want to make Telegram social media so they can control what's being said on Telegram. Like, they're panicking, folks. Look what's going on in that country in the southern hemisphere that we're not allowed to say the word anymore, which is another crazy thing. Like, think about that. If I said the country name starts with an A, and it's on the other side of the world, the down under place, that actually could get my video pulled because that we're not allowed to talk about that country right now. You know, and that's crazy what's going on down there. Like, it's crazy. Everything's crazy what's going on. You know, there was another movie too, not Contagion. There was another one called, I forget what it was, but it's exactly to what's going on right now. Hollywood gives us you know little I guess clues of what they've got in store for us. I have a fan that's in that country, crafty man, and their life is normal. But there is a part of that country that is not normal, like not even remotely normal. And if you're not aware of it, you're of the danger that's going on. I actually, this was it wasn't funny. It wasn't. It was sad actually. It was the Victoria. I can say that word because that could be talking about Victoria, Canada. The Victoria Police were doing a public service message on uh, on domestic violence, and they were talking about how to prevent violence against women and violence against children caused by males. And it was a TikTok video, but it was somebody had embedded the public service announcement from the Victoria Police in Canada code that about this they were supporting, to eliminate domestic violence, and it was overlaid with all the male cops beating up female protesters in Victoria, Canada. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's like, it was just unbelievable. Well, no, there's no jab happening here, minor. You don't have to doubt it. I will confirm it. No. I don't need to. I got an immune system. I had COVID. Oh, I said the word. I had the gluten back in February. I slipped. Got to be careful. My God. And I've had it twice. I've had the gluten twice now. I'm like, but natural immunity doesn't count. No. But so far, natural immunity has saved me. Except my lungs are sore today. Oh, folks. Like it's like it feels like I got just like rammed into the wall right there. This helps. The we need the truckers worldwide to go on strike. You know, we do. We need to unite. Everybody needs to unite. You know, like we need to band together. I got enough of this, like, left, right, red, blue, conservative, liberal stuff. This divide and conquer of the population. You know, we're not. We're not each other's enemies. We're being misdirected. Who the real enemy is. You know, like, the real enemy, isn't your neighbor that has a different opinion, you know, or your relative that has a different opinion, you know. The real enemy are the people that are taking our rights away. The media, the big pharma, the government, the bankers. That's the real enemy, you know. You know. Let's see if there's any questions here. Well, that's another one too. That's another thing too. Think about this. Like, look what's going on. Well, last week in Windsor, Ontario, the hospitals are preparing for they call it a healthcare collapse because we're gonna have a big wave, and they just fired 172 nurses in Windsor because they didn't get the gluten jab. Like, these nurses last year were heroes because they worked during the gluten outbreak, and they were heroes last year, but this year they're not. They're fired. Alberta did the same thing. New York State, something like 12,000 nurses are going to get let go today. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Letting, you're going to get rid of everybody, like, it's just they're creating a crisis, and that's another thing too when they talk about ICU beds, like they're talking about the hospitals. Well, I know here in Ontario they spent over $2 billion folks, last year testing. We could have built how many hospitals for $2 billion? But instead, we have the exact same amount of ICU beds, and we're firing doctors and nurses now. Like, I just, like, think about it. Like, if we're really that dangerous right now, well, Alberta, oh, that hurts. Alberta is, they had 7 more patients in ICU, and they said it was going to collapse the gluten ward. It's like, well, look at Queensland, in that place down under. They're letting 1,200 police go that don't want to get, the gluten jab. Like 1,200 police. I had business for many years. I had businesses, and the last thing that the last thing you would do is, you know get let. Okay, Inga, why would you delete that? Why are you deleting that, Inga? Little turtle. Patriot Nurse is a good source for information. Like, that makes no sense why you would delete that. Don't delete that stuff, Inga. Yeah, you did with your finger. Um, yeah, I don't get it. I don't get what's going on. This is like they're setting us up for like a lot of. There's something big dots going to get connected. You know, big dots. Like, you don't get rid of like the people that are not taking the the jab for the gluten. They're like they can't have those kind of people around because they think for themselves, do some research. You know, like, it's like, but to get rid of the best of your force, you know, like, it doesn't make any sense. Running a business, I couldn't imagine getting rid of 10%. Let's get rid of the best, or some of the best employees, the longest with your, like there's a certain amount of money invested when you have an employee over time, just for experience, the value they bring to your company, and the government's just tossing these people out. Like, they're saying like 3,000 teachers in New York State they're going to get rid of. They're just going to get rid of 3,000 teachers, and probably they're all older teachers that that are actually good at their job. You know, like, yeah, the horse paste crap, eh? But they neglect to tell everybody, soaps, that horse paste was authorized by the FDA in 1999 as a treatment, and that it won a Nobel Medical Prize. I think it was 2015 or 2014. The Mectin. Like, but they just tell you, oh no, it's horse paste. Like, and then I just read that the 3-letter agency that approves drugs just approved another pill, another drug that is used for horse deworming, but it's a different name, but you only get it when you're in late stages of gluten. So, like, you have to almost be dead before they give you this one. But it's also a parasite drug for horses, but it's a human drug, but they use it in horses. But it's a different drug. But the Mectin, no, because that one blows the narrative, because Mectin absolutely gets rid of it. You know, and then if I want to travel now, like I was just reading, starting November, to fly into the U.S., I have to be vaxxed by the gluten. You know, But yet, they can let 10,000, illegals across the border, and they don't have to be, they don't have to be jabbed. But I have to be jabbed, you know, because like I'm trying to keep my plans open, you know, for leaving, and I thought about driving the car down to my buddy's house in Florida, and then flying from Florida to Mexico, and or even driving it to Mexico, and now I can't even do that, you know, because I was just going to abandon the car down there, and like I've been trying to keep my options open, but everything's closing. They're closing, making it impossible. You know, the problem, gluten cards don't work, Charles, because up here in Canada, you need to be registered on your healthcare number. You can make a fake paper one up, but pretty soon they won't acknowledge the paper. They're going to want the app only, because the app is verified by the government database. Oh, you know, which you need to be in the database that you got the gluten shot, and then the app will update. You know, ironically, so funny. That's what I got as a flip phone. Uh, my phones that I use, like this phone I'm talking on right now, is I don't even have a SIM card in it. I don't. I don't have flip phones. I read that three, was it F-18s or F-15s? I don't know what the U.S. has, F-15 or F-18 fighter jets. The three pilots were hospitalized with embolisms 48 hours after getting the COVID. Oh, I said the word. My God, I'm slipping. The gluten jab. I'm slipping here. I've slipped twice so far now. Oh, it hurts to cough, man. Oh man, what's really strange is when I was sick 4.5 weeks ago, my lungs didn't get it, and my throat, got a little bit itchy, but it wasn't like it never went down my body. I guess my body fought it off. It was a weaker strain of gluten, but this time it's gone right into my lungs. It's like I absolutely have some kind of respiratory infection. You know, yes, the White House and Congress are exempt from gluten. I know, isn't that nice? And also, did you know, Little Turtle, that if you are rich and famous, you also don't need to wear a mask. But the people who serve you have to have a mask. Oh, thank you, Mark. I haven't had a super chat in so long. That's very nice of you. I'm assuming that's euros. Or no, that's a pound. That's a pound. 1.79 pounds. Thank you so much. You know, actually, soaps, Project Veritas, they did some videos last week of the insiders bringing videos out. You know, that's Project Veritas. Just go check them out. The last week, they have released a whole bunch of undercover footage about the VARS system on the gluten reporting, and it's not good. Not good at all. They're not telling us the truth. Well, I read back in the summertime that the that VARS is only accurate, and this was from Johns Hopkins University, that it was only accurate to 1 to 4%. So what is there, they say that only represents 1 to 4% of what really is going on. So think about that, folks. I think it's called. Oh, you can see it. You go to open. I think it's openvars.org. I think it is, and it's not good. Yeah, there is a reason, soaps. But you know what's really sad is last year, they were heroes, and they were like, think about it. Last year, the doctors and nurses were the heroes. Like they still, you go downtown Renfrew, and there's signs up, be thankful to the heroes, thank our frontline heroes, and then this year we're firing the frontline heroes. But last year they could treat everybody with gluten, and well, that's another thing too. Why didn't all the doctors and nurses last year die of gluten? You know, that's what I don't understand. Why didn't they die? You know, and then this year, they survived the last 19 months of the gluten attack, and then this year, they we fire them. You know, my old doctor, who's not my doctor, he's retired. He doesn't he doesn't do general practice anymore. He only does I think he does like contract work at the hospital. He's like 80 some years old now, so he just goes in and works a little bit, and that's it. And my neighbor has him as a doctor. Used to have him as a doctor also. I had him for like 40. Oh my! I'm trying to think. He was my doctor since I was like 10 years old. So I had him for a lot of years before he retired there 6 years ago. Probably had him for 40 years as my doctor. And my neighbor has had him for that length of time. And he had a conversation with him. My neighbor had a conversation with him off the record with nobody around, and he wouldn't take the gluten shot. And he told my neighbor to stay away from the gluten shot. And this is a doctor that I would trust him with my life because he's never steered me wrong. And he's one of the few doctors is that when you tell him, what's wrong with your body, he actually listens to you and then tries to figure things out. Not like some of these doctors, you know, that that you tell them what's wrong with you and they don't listen to you, because how could you know what's going on in your body, The Canary Island volcano just at a 7.2. That's scary, folks. If that volcano at the Canary Islands splits and it slides that big chunk of, they're saying like what, something like 6,000 feet up, and if that slides into the ocean, there could be like 100-foot wave coming across the ocean. That the east coast of Canada and the U.S. it's not going to be good. Yeah, La Palma on the Canary Islands. There's a lot of things going on, folks. It's crazy what's going on. And then we got that Chinese, that Evergrande. That's big. That's really, really big. You know, the Evergrande is that one is huge. Like it is really, really bad. You know, there's a massive financial crisis cooking right now, folks. Compounded on with everything else that's going on. Here's something else. You know, well, I'll give you a quick synopsis on Evergrande. Okay, so Lehman Brothers in 2008, Lehman Brothers was a $60 billion bankruptcy, and it almost took the whole worldwide financial system down. Evergrande is over $305 billion. So just get that one on your head. That's how dangerous this one is. And it looks like the Chinese government is going to let it go bankrupt. So it's $1 billion in construction in the works. Oh, that hurts. Oh, boys. Okay, I had the cough. I had a brain fart at the same time and lost it. You know, I don't have any eucalyptus plants here. You know, I had something to share with you there, and I lost it when I was coughing in pain. Yeah, completely brain farted right out there. Well, no, I have no mectin. We're not allowed to have mectin. I have no elderberry here either. I have no oregano oil either. I have nothing here, folks. I'm in isolation. You know, I'm not going to town. I'm not going to town for anything. But I miss you too, Mark. I have lemon concentrated juice. No lemons. I'm a grow your own food kind of guy. If I can't grow it, I don't got it. Order in? Nope. Not ordering. Ordering what? Lemons? I could order a pizza. I was making myself ginger with lemon and an aspirin and honey, little teas. The last 2 days, I'm sick of those too. But they're only good when you got a sore throat, and I don't have a sore throat. It's my lungs, folks. I got vitamin D for medicine. I'm low on ginger too. I screwed up when I did my last shop because I went on because I had a premonition um, about oh how long ago was it? Must about 6 7 weeks ago. I had a premonition. I was going through my carrots, looking at them, checking the weeds out and that, and I was just not doing much. Trust me, more catching the sun than anything else on my hands and knees in the garden, working on the tan of my underwear, and and I had a feeling that I wasn't leaving, that I was going to be stuck here, and there's no escaping. And then, and now it looks like it's true. But I went on, after that premonition, I went down and I bought a whole bunch of supplies just in case I'm stuck here for the winter. Oh. And I didn't buy any ginger, and I'm down low on ginger. Oh. Well, if you send me anything, I go to the post office, and my track record, every time I go to the post office, I get sick. So I try not to even go to the post office. Oh. A fall garden for yourself? I don't know. Charles, when I grow, I only, uh, I grow, like I said, I got 4 months to produce enough food for myself. And I just grow everything that I'm going to eat, and then I freeze it. And then I got to live off of that for the next 9 months. And like I said, I had that premonition. It was weird. I was in the garden and the carrots. And it was like, I'm staying here. I'm stuck here. I'm not getting out of here. No one's going to buy the farm, and I'm not getting out. And plus, like I said, I'm having problems with my visa in Venezuela because there's something going on that, and I'm not getting a straight answer on why it's a massive delay to get visas. Well, put it this way. I applied in January, and I'm now on 3 applications, and my visa's been denied twice so far. You know, no apples, Rebecca. And my neighbor's apple tree had no apples either. The both of us. You know, what will happen to my houses there? Well, they're nothing, Auntie. My houses are there. They're being taken care of. I have my peoples down there are taking care of everything. I get pictures, all updates. I just posted on my WhatsApp there. They went over and checked on my truck and started it up. And no, there's something else going on, Coco, on there's something else going on. There, there's some kind of delay because my friend here in Canada, who's a Venezuelan, their their visa expired, and the government has approved visa, but they won't issue it. There's something going on worldwide, folks, because there's a delay. Like right now, if you want to get a passport in Canada, like a new passport, yeah, you're going to wait months, like months. Like usually, it takes 2 weeks to get a new passport in Canada, and it's like months and months and months. You know, there's something going on worldwide that they're slowing travel down for us peasants to move around during the gluten period because like there's no reason like my visa is an investment visa, you know, so like it's like there's no reason like they want like you think about this the country's in economic collapse, they need you know they want investment, and you know it's like why would you deny somebody a visa that wants to come and invest in your country when your country's in a collapse? It doesn't make any sense. Where previously my visas were approved actually as fast as a week, you know. Charles, if yours expires next year, apply now for another one. Like seriously. My friend up here applied for a passport back, I think, January in Canada, okay? And this is a Canadian. I think January, February, they sent in for a passport. They still haven't got it back for a new one. Like almost 7, 8 months, you know? I'm so lucky that I got a 10-year passport back in 2018. Thankfully, I did that because, you know, like I wouldn't like right now. It's just you're not going to get it. And the crazy part is that the government, they're in their offices. Like they're in their freaking offices. They're sitting there. They answer the phone. They answer emails, but they're not issuing anything because of the gluten. But because they're trying to protect workers. But the workers are all at the office. Like it makes no sense. Patty, if you want to join my WhatsApp group, the link's below in the live stream to join the WhatsApp group. Gerardo cut all the grass on my driveway at the farm. They're keeping the farm all done up. Got my little truck running. They hadn't started since March, and the battery was dead. So, also funny, if you're not planning on leaving, you don't need a passport. But if you ever do need to leave, you ain't getting out without a passport. And even a passport's no guarantee you're going to get out because right now I can't even get out. You know, Coco, here in my part of the world, it's the most bizarre thing because we're in a small town. Like it's only 8,300 people here, okay? And we're in a rural area. But when you're out of town, nobody's wearing, gluten protection. But when you go to town, everybody's got gluten protection on. It's like unbelievable. For a little town of 8,300 people, it's mind blowing because it stresses me right out. It totally does. Like I'm out, like I'm going to the post office, and then people are walking up and down the sidewalk by themselves with gluten protection on, outside, like you're on the sidewalk by yourself, you know, like but like in the countryside, it's like you never see them, you know. But in town, it's unbelievable. You go to the store. I did. I sarcastically wore a mask. It was so funny You know those little paper cup masks that like like where you buy 50 for 9.99. They're the little paper, totally useless things, and they got that plastic single little elastic band that's absolutely useless. Okay, well I had one in my car because to to uh, um, to go to the beer store, they will not sell you beer without something on your face. So I said, fine. You want me? I have to wear something on my face, so I will wear the most useless mask I can get my hands on, and I have these little paper things that are totally useless, and I've been wearing the same one for almost a year going into the beer store since they came up with this rule. And the elastic that holds it is so weak, the mask like hangs down on my chin like there's no way of holding it up in place. And I walked into the grocery store, and I wore that because I just didn't want to. People were like, it was just too much. After I got the security called on me for wearing a hazmat suit, I sort of lost my sense of humor. And I'm at the cash, and now these little paper, the little paper masks, the useless ones, okay? And like I'm standing there, and it's hanging down like this, and the cash lady goes, the mask is not covering your nose." And I'm like, lady, you think this mask is doing anything? And I had a growth of beard at the time, and it was like pushed away from my face. Like it was like, this thing is totally useless. I was thinking of buying one of those paintball masks, that they wear for paintball for protection, and that it's all wire on the front, like the Bane from Batman. It's a big face mask, but the front here is all wire. I was thinking of getting one of those, but I prefer not to wear anything. But everybody looks at me like I think I'm going to get attacked. Actually, it stresses me right out because like I'm the only person when I'm in town walking around not wearing a COVID a gluten protection. I almost said it again there. The gluten protection, and it's like everybody looks at me, like I'm gonna kill them. You know, yeah, we're living in a bizarre world. But remember, folks, your neighbor's not your enemy. Somebody with a different opinion is not your enemy. The jab and unjabbed are not your enemy. The enemy is the people trying to take our rights away. That's the enemy. You know, big pharma is our enemy. The media is absolutely. The media is so complicit in this. You know, you know. We got to stop this divide and conquer stuff. Left, right. You know, conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican. Like it doesn't matter. It's us against them. You know, and we need to unite. And until we unite, we're going to continue to lose our rights. And they're going to use gluten to get to take everything away from us. Because it's not the unjabbed that are causing the lockdowns. You know, you know, like yeah, it is the Hunger Games. As it worries me. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But I need to take a rest because my lungs are sore from talking. The air. But I wanted to give you an update on what I've gone through. That I have gone through 2 new bouts of gluten, and I have survived. So now I've had 3 times, you know, that I've had gluten attack, and I have survived. And I know I have. And I know I have it this time for sure because my lungs are, oof, it's definitely a respiratory problem. But, so when they say that, your immune system won't protect you. They're full of duck feces, okay? They really are, you know. Honest question. I'm going to answer a question before I go. Okay, if I don't take any precautions and refuse any meds, why are you surprised you're sick again? I'm not surprised I'm sick again. Why do you think I'm surprised? You know? And as far as precautions, in my whole life, I've never lived in fear of the flu. You know, why did I've never, like, ever, I had a business. I owned a large video store that used to, on a typical Saturday, get about 3,000 people would come through it on a Saturday. And I ran that store for 22 years. And in that 22 years, I got pneumonia twice, and maybe the flu 3 times in 22 years. And I didn't, live 22 years, taking precautions. Life has risks, and you can't take any meds, and for well, first of all, I've never taken the flu jab. I've never done that one because I'm not afraid, and I've always recovered. I don't live in fear. That's why, right. Yeah, the Norway thing. But if you read if you read the last line of the letter from the Prime Minister of Norway, he has now downloaded the responsibility to municipalities. If you read the very last line of his declaration, now it's the municipalities can still do gluten mandates. That's the key. He has federally given it up, but he's downloaded it to a local level. You know? Mm. No, I'll be better, Inga. I bet you by tomorrow I'll feel a lot better. Because, I beat it the last time in, 60 hours, 72 hours I was over it completely. And I honestly believe that this might take 96 hours. Maybe my lungs will be sore for, 120 hours, 5 days. But I'm not, I don't feel like I did on Saturday, I can tell you that much. You know? Yeah, people are waking up. Go. Wait till the dots get connected on this, folks. But like I said, do a little search on TRN1, okay? And when you TRN1, all right, and it like that is being suppressed, okay? That is scary, all right? There, like I personally wouldn't want TRN1 suppressed in my body, okay? Yeah, living in fear. If I was living in fear, I wouldn't want to. Well, first of all, I wouldn't have gone to South America, 27 plus times in the last 30 years, and I wouldn't be wanting to move to South America if I was living in fear. I would stay here in Canada, thinking that this is the safest place to be, you know. So I'm not. Put it this way, folks, if it's time to go and your number's up, there's nothing that's going to stop it. It's called destiny, you know. So you can either, live life or, you know, live in fear and don't live life, you know. And then when you do die, and you're laying on your deathbed, you can have tons of regret. Okay? You know. Here, I'm going to post the link to the TRN1, okay? Because I got to be careful what I post, but this is a legit link of something that there's no way I'll get banned or anything on this one. But I'm not, this is, all I can say about this TRN1 is, okay, let me get the link. Where is it? this is being suppressed. Okay, I'm going to post it here in the link. Okay. Okay, I just posted the link. All right. This is being suppressed with what they're doing to us. All right. And you do not want to suppress that. Don't I worry about my silence? Well, Charles, if I start going downhill, I'll do an update video that I'm dying, okay? So that everybody knows that, oh, this is the end of the duck adventure. Matt is dying, and the gluten got him, okay? But if I'm doing well, and I can't go on Twitter anymore because I got banned on Twitter. I'm locked out because I refuse to bend to their rules on their conditions that I have to delete a tweet. So I'm out of there. How? What does TRN1 do? It says right in the link, if you read it, it suppresses mutations. So it's part of our immune system that fights mutations in our body, and mutations in our body are, well, it's cancer. Okay, when you get mutations in your body, you're developing cancer. Things are growing abnormally in your body. So if the TRN1 gets suppressed, what happens to your body? You have no defense against cancer mutations. So, you know, yes, I know, October, 6 zeros. Wow. I think, Sonia, there's gonna be an announcement on something to do with Bitcoin soon in Venezuela, because I know, like with El Salvador and Cuba, something tells me. Plus, like I know that at the Guri Dam they're mining Bitcoin. You know, you know. But this TRN1 thing, if this is true, that the gluten jab, suppresses this, not good. It's not good at all. So, we have an immune system, you know, you know. But I gotta go take a break, folks. I can feel my lungs getting sore, talking, too much breathing. So, I'm gonna say goodbye. Thanks for joining me, and this is my update on what it's like to survive gluten twice. Well, 3 times actually now. Gluten attack. So, have a great day, and if I take a turn for the worse and things are going to get, that I feel that I need to update you, that I'm really, really sick, laying here and dying, and then it'll put a good show on to turn the camera on, and you can watch me suffer with the gluten. So, other than that, have a great day and be careful, because the world's full of lies. Okay, and don't be afraid. And remember, your neighbor, your coworker, anybody with a different opinion is not your enemy. Okay, the enemy is the people taking your rights away. Remember that.